Shut up and sit down.
There you are. Have you ever wondered how it is that Sherlock Holmes can walk into a room, look at a bunch of guys and read them like a book? I'm going to show you how it's done, so stick around with me for the next few minutes. So, how does Sherlock do it? To understand this, we're going to use the 3 levels of situational awareness. Remember that Sherlock uses large doses of PCP, not phencyclidine. He uses perception, comprehension, and prediction. And the first level of situational awareness is perception. Experts tell us that all of us have this. All of us can do it. What drew your attention to something in the environment? What did you smell? What did you see? What did you taste? It's elementary. However, to be a budding super sleuth, you need super perception. So I'm going to set you a little task. I'm going to show you a little clip now. The context of the story is 3 men walk into a checkout store. Apparently they have nothing to do with one another. They buy some cheap items. I'm sure they can collect the slips so they can expense that back to their accountants later. And then coordinate an armed robbery in the store. Now, in the context of self-defense, perception needs to be done very quickly. So I'm going to simply show you a few clips through the event, and I want you to try and figure out what's going on. And now use your super perception senses. What's the time it took from one event to take to another event? What is the distance between people, and is there a reason for that? What about non-verbal communication, glances, the turn of a head? In other contexts, the tone of a person's voice, the temperature in the room. This is all part of your first level of situational awareness. So take a look and let's see what you can identify. So, how'd it go? Not so easy, huh? And sometimes it actually takes, you've got less time to observe the situation. And all we've done is observe. Now we need to try and make sense of what is actually going on. And that takes us to level 2 of situational awareness. First we perceive, and now we comprehend. It's the C of our PCP. And what we're trying to do now is try and integrate what we've seen or heard or smelt or touched. We're trying to make sense of it, assign meaning to it, and all of that comes together to help us make some kind of rapid decision. Now, it's a lot easier for experienced people to do this. We're not born being able to comprehend situations. And the problem with experience is that you need to have experiences to have experience. So how are we going to go about doing this? Especially in the context of we're trying to learn to keep ourselves safe. And this is certainly not something that's taught in school. The one way to do it is to do some reading and build up a little bit of a library of knowledge in your mind. You can do that by reading my blogs. The links are below. You can read some books, and again I'm going to put some links below with some suggested reading to help you along the way. You can find some training courses, all right? And you can also, there's a lot of resources on the net which will give you an understanding of what happens in the real world. Each country produces crime surveys, for example. That might be one way to go. Or you could use policing forums to understand what's happening in your immediate environment. What I would say is that you stay away from the nonsense in social media. There's a lot of paranoia, hystericism, and unresearched information that's put out there that is not going to help you. 20% of comprehension doesn't go right, even for experienced people, even for people like fighter pilots. And where this starts from is bad information sources. So find yourself some good information sources and build up a library of information. Now, let's take things one step further. We're going to go back into our magnifying glass and we're going to try and comprehend the signs that something was going to happen so we can make a decision. So if you're ready, let's go. So first of all, we've got three men that walk into the store almost as if they don't know one another. But have a look at their clothing. It's just like a uniform. Everyone's wearing a cap to conceal their faces from the CCTV system. Everyone's wearing sneakers and their clothes cover their waistline so that people can't see the firearms that they're carrying. Then we've got that guy, the suspect I call the unhappy customer. Look at that glance as he turns. Not the normal behavior of somebody who's just bought something from a convenience store and is now about to leave. Now we get to deal with Bottle Man. He buys his 2 bottles of mineral water, and you would expect him to walk straight out the door, but he doesn't. He takes the bottles and he goes and he stands by the doorway for a long period of time. Again, not normal behavior. While Bottle Man is standing in the doorway, Blue Hat Man is at the till, and there's definite visual interaction between the two and a nod from Bottle Man. He's signaling something, telling him, let's go. The only time we see any indication that something's wrong from any of the staff members in the store is from the cashier in the back right-hand side. Look at the angle of her head. She shifts her situational awareness from the in-depth process of counting money in the till and looks up at the 2 men that are standing there. She looks at them for a while, and then she goes back to her money counting process. And the opportunity to take action is lost. The last fascinating piece of body language comes from Blue Hat Man. The robbery is already in progress, and he continuously keeps his hands by his waist and does a sort of jig, as if he forgot to go to the toilet before the whole crime started. What he's trying to signal to people is, I've got a gun and you need to listen to me. Now that you've comprehended what's going on, you've put all the pieces together, there's a hope that you can try and see the evolution of events. And we go to the 3rd stage of situational awareness, which is prediction. Can you see the evolution of events and tell in the short term what's about to take place? And this is the most difficult part of situational awareness. It requires the greatest level of experience. But that doesn't mean that you haven't already done it in your life. Think about a time perhaps that you were driving and you get to an intersection and you know that car is about to jump the traffic light. What did you do there? You perceived the vehicle driving towards the traffic light. You comprehended this guy is going too fast, and you made a prediction he won't be able to stop in time. And then what did you do? You took action. You hit the brakes. You slowed down. You changed lanes. Other times in your life, you might have met somebody and simply had a bad feeling perhaps, a gut feel. There's something not right with this guy, or I can tell this guy there's going to be trouble. Again, you perceived the situation, you comprehended that there were danger signs leading to that person, and you made a prediction. The question is whether you took action from your prediction, which is the final step that comes out of the 3 levels of situational awareness. I encourage you to practice this and take notice when you've done it. Think about times when you've made successful predictions. How did you do it? What state was your mind in? Did the prediction come from the front of your head or the back of your head? Did it well up in your stomach, or was it a feeling? Notice that and use that, enhance it. When that pops up in your mind, take action because it's there for a reason. Actually, if you consider 3 levels of situational awareness, which is perception, comprehension, and prediction, it's not that difficult. You've just got to take action. Some might even say it's elementary. Whoa, hold on. Stop the music for 1 second. For those of you that are budding super sleuths and you'd like a little bit of a challenge, in each scene of this video, I changed items in the environment behind me. If you can spot those items and you're not a sleazo trying to sell Cialis, drop me a line in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. Until then, click the subscribe button and I'll see you again for some great security advice.